Hey everyone. Hadn't planned on doing a lot of these, but my last video was an unboxing and look at components for the new Austerlitz 1805. This is a fairly new game that's come out now that Legion War Games has produced, and it's part of a series that I think is going to be my go-to series for Napoleonic tactical simulation. I'm partly because right now I've narrowed it down to 3 different levels of Napoleonics. The Austerlitz 1805, the new Spanish publisher's game, is a little bit of an outlier because I was interested in that, especially the way that looked. But it's much more of a miniatures kind of game, and I wanted to try that. But basically, for me, if I'm looking at playing some kind of Napoleonics tactical simulations, the easy jump-in kind of game series would be the Commands and Colors, and those are a lot of fun. It's easy to get into a lot of different scenarios, and it's a little bit more abstract, of course, and a little bit more random as far as the gameplay, but it's kind of the close to a beer and pretzels kind of game series. And then of course I can pull out the Last Eagle system, which is more of an intermediate level simulation, and I think it does a pretty excellent job of recreating the battles that they've published so far. There's a few concepts that you have to grasp in order to get into the gameplay, but once you do that, I think that's a pretty fair simulation. It abstracts some of the more detailed parts of Napoleonic warfare, and especially I think like cavalry and formations. Doesn't deal with formations at all. But that's an excellent series. So that's kind of the intermediate. And then for me, rather than go to the Trois Batailles system, my preference now is to use this Vive L'Empereur series, which I have 4 right now. I was happy to pick up La Bataille de Leipzig. Haven't gotten into that yet. It's not fully punched. Whoever had it before, it was used, but I'd say used is a loose term because there's a little bit of boxware on shelfware, the box, but the counters only have been taken out in the strips, and they haven't been fully punched, and it doesn't look like the maps have been used, so that was a little tougher to get a hold of. And those are put out by Pratt's, and these last 2 that I got, the Trois Batailles en Espagne right here, and then this new one, Trois Batailles en Allemagne. Forgive my French. My son probably would be happy with my French pronunciation, but there it is. Those 2 put out by Legion, and I think Legion's done it's a pretty good game company. They've got a lot of interesting games. interesting battles that you might not be able to get with other publishers. So they put out a good product, and we want to take a look at both what the components are in this new Three Battles of Germany in Germany edition, and in comparison to some of the previous titles over here as far as the components. So let's take a look. What I like about this series is the paintings that they have on. I haven't checked out what specific painting this is, if it's on display anywhere, along with you see this one, and the Waterloo, sorry for the glare, and Leipzig. Interesting to actually check out all those paintings and artists. The back cover, and I love the fact that they say number of players 1 or 2, so you can play this solo, the system, pretty well. Notice there, we'll get into it in a second here, but 5 maps with 3 battles, and you'll see why in a second. So let's open it up. Have the standard and advanced rules. There is, if you go to page, let's see if we can find the page here. That's command control, it should be advanced, yeah. So the regular rules go through page 24 and a little bit. And then we get into advanced rules, of which some of them, once you played it a few times, you definitely want to use. This is a little bit of a change in past editions. This is glossy. Some people don't like glossy. You obviously probably don't want to write on this. But if you do a lot of note taking, you probably print off a copy anyway, so you can write on that and not wreck this. It's a beautiful color edition. There's quite a bit of text, but there's also some decent number of pictures, graphics. Just as in comparison, this is from their previous edition for the Spain, 4 Battles in Spain, and this is just paper. It's not colored, it's black and white. Has the graphics, but obviously not as, doesn't pop out as much. So this is the first time you see this glossy. It's nice. And then this is a little bit older with the Pratzen, but it's a little more similar to the previous Spain, 4 Battles in Spain. Okay, so there's the rules, and then the 2 scenario manuals, and that's because Danzig, I haven't taken a closer look at this, but there's a fairly large rule book for Danzig, and I will show you in a second why that is, but it's going to be a little bit different. And then Jena and Auerstedt, those 2 other battles. And one of the other differences, and actually Trois Batailles de Espagne, let's shift this a little bit, also have these, the player aid cards are in color and pretty hefty. They're not ultra thick, but they're not thin. And you will be doing one of two things. I haven't tried it yet. I'm anxious to see if it would work out, but I'd like to try a dry erase marker on this, because this is used to tally losses for each of the formations. So you can, I think, use the markers, you'll see here in a second, to do that as well. Normally these are used, well, we'll talk about, I'm getting ahead of myself, but nicely done for each of the armies. 2 fire formation melee tables. Now the back is different. You know, this, if you're 2 people, you can share this. The one thing is the backs are 2 different things. One is the terrain effects for Danzig, and the other one is the terrain effects for Jena Auerstedt. But again, nicely made. And then a visual on the terrain, and I like this color, so it's handy, right? You know, you don't have to go through the book. Take a look at the designations and symbols on all the units. Okay, encounters. So there are 3 battles. I haven't seen how it's organized yet. I'm hoping that they're separated. That two of the battles, well, need to be seen. But as far as organizing, now the one thing about these counters and the counter sheets, as you can see, if you've never played the system before, they are the long, skinny counters, and I'm not going to pop these out quite yet. As you can see, they pop out in strips fairly easily. You have to be careful on the end here, and that's where I might use some kind of rotary cutter, X-Acto knife to pop those out. If you get it to this point, like that, and then twist this, that usually works pretty well. And then you can separate, and they'll come apart off each individually off that strip. They're very nice counters. There is a lot of info you've got to get used to taking a look at where you find each of the little info as far as strength, melee strength, fire strength, movement. And then when you flip them over, you'll see they go to column formation. And melee formation, in line formation. I shouldn't say melee, it's not just for melee. So very nice counters, but some people might think they're a little busy, but I like them. The one thing I've discovered is just, keeping straight the formations. Don't always necessarily pop out because there's so much info on each counter. You can see the different, if you're not good with colors, this is where the challenge would be, because they do have different colors here on the formation name on the side vertically, as well as you see the change in color from here. But it's a little bit difficult at times. Obviously, telling countries apart aren't so bad, but individual units and formations, that's a little trickier. These are the markers for actually disorganization. When you set this across one of your units, it shows you when that unit will not be disorganized anymore, what turn. So, well, and I'm not going to get into the details of the rules, but it's actually, I believe you're putting it down for what turn it got disorganized, and then you can see how long it will be before they'll have a chance to be organized again and useful. Then maps, and for the maps, I'm gonna stop for a second and lay out. So we'll just do a pause here. Okay, this is back up a little bit here. This is the map for Jena. See, in a typical card table, would overhang quite a bit. So you remember this said that there were 5 maps, and you'll see in a second again why that is. There's 2 for Jena. The map is glossy. The seams, there's a little bit of that wear that you get when you have folds. I don't know if you could see that. So I'd be a little bit concerned about that, this map. It's not bad. But as far as the maps themselves, it's very functional. I like the details on the cities, towns, with the individual houses. It's very easily understood what the terrain is. This is not, necessarily the most gorgeous map you're going to see, but it's very, very easy to see what kind of hexes you're in, whether or not you have counters in the hex, so that's helpful. The slope or hills elevations are very, very obvious, as you can see there. Okay, so that's 2 maps for Jena. And then Auerstedt. The second here. Auerstedt is just 1 map. Kind of a long one, so that fits neat, very nicely on a regular card table. Oh, oops, sorry. Obvious river issues in that battle. And then with Danzig. Danzig was a fortress, and what's cool about this one, it's quite different than anything else they've done with the system. Now this seems fairly straightforward, and it fits on a card table like Auerstedt did. And there you can see the fortress of Danzig. But this is, as it says here, I'll get rid of the glare. Operational map. So they have wonderfully large hexes in all the maps in the system to accommodate those longer counters. But this is only an operational map. It's a very interesting terrain with a huge river, the Vistule, and swamp, and lake, and lots of little towns. a major road, minor roads, and the beautiful fortress of Danzig. But then you'll see something interesting about this one. Pull back. It's the same size, but it's a zoomed in view of the fortress and the surrounding area. You can see Stolzenberg here, and where's, sorry, what am I looking at? Well, this is, oh, they have Ziegankendorf. That's a fun one. And there's Ziegankenberg, which is here. And again, I haven't taken a look at the rules, but the obvious difference is there are no hexes. And what I found interesting was this little designation on one of the counter sheets. It says rangefinder Danzig siege map, and then 100, 250, 500, 750. So it looks like you're going to need that for this siege, and I have absolutely no idea how those rules fit in with the Vive L'Empereur rules, but we'll find out. But that's what I think is so cool about this particular new game that Legion Games has put out, because this is totally different, totally new. So it'll be something to explore as we get into this new game. So that is Trois Batailles en Allemagne, 3 battles in Germany. And I look forward to playing it and maybe giving a report. At the very least, I may report on what the Danzig siege looks like. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you soon. Bye.